Hi everybody, it's Red from Out of Red's Head. I hope you are well and happy today. I'm over the moon. I have finished the fairy journal. I'm so excited. As you can see, I found this gorgeous fabric to cover it, which just to me made the whole thing. So let me flip through it real quick and show you what we've got. It is a hard cover. It is chunky and thick, and it has been stitched together with waxed thread. I've used this tulle just to use as a wrap, and you absolutely could change it out if you wanted to. It's just threaded through a grommet at the back. I put a little bead at the bottom to hold the two pieces together, and I've used corner pieces here. This beautiful filigree. This is cotton. It is digitally printed, and the wax thread stitching. The back has these beautiful little butterfly and flower, and then on the spine, which is flipping over the top here, through the grommet, I have added this collection of fibers that I just think are scrumptious. All different textures and things in here, and I've added some charms on a chain, two chains really. So you've got the dragonfly, and you've got the rose, and there's a little fairy and a star. You've got a hummingbird, and then up here at the top is a little mushroom. And I just thought that added to it and made it a little bit fairy-like for some reason. So little bits of sparkles and that kind of thing. The inside edge of the book is just beautiful, isn't it? With all the laces and fibers and everything. And it is about 8 inches long. It's about 5.5 inches wide. And the spine, I think, is 2 3/4 inches, but I will have to verify that. All the measurements for sure will be in the box below the video. Okay, just making sure I'm in frame when I open this here. I have used a textured cardstock here, and we'll get started. Here is our beautiful fairy. It's a vintage fairy print that I've stitched on here, made a flip, vintage sari silk. You open it up, you've got some places to write, and I put here believe in magic and some little gems. And then this is paper that I've hand dyed, a 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional sticker. Got this beautiful card here that I've lined with paper that I dyed and added some sari silk here. You've got this pocket made from an Audubon print, and I've included a page from a vintage children's book. The song is The Skylark, and I thought that would be fun to play with or just to keep. This is paper that I've coffee dyed with some lace. I've added a vintage French ribbon here. And this is a pretty little print from one of the books that I own. There's a card, and then you've got believe here at the bottom. The paper behind it is printed with fairies. You've got trim on the edge here on the back side. And then you've got more of the fairy print, a little bit different this time. I put a sticker in the pocket because I really liked that sticker. And then you've got a laser cut card here with a little butterfly at the top and some fibers. And then this is just lace that I thought would be pretty to add a picture or write on or whatever you'd like to do. Little collage here in the front with a quote about fairies. And this pretty card with a dragonfly. Add a little fairy here, mushroom. This is vintage paper again. Some trim. And then you've got an Edith Holden print here. And that is also a pocket. So you've got a nice long pocket here. I've added this trim here. And you've got the upside down pocket. This is from a children's book. This is a page from a vintage children's book. I've layered this sheer ribbon over the top with the leaves. and then stitched it and left the back blank for writing. And you've got the leaf fairy here. She tucks behind, and she's on a dessert tab for the index cards. It's a tab there. So you've got a recipe card underneath it. And I've added these vintage buttons that I thought were so pretty. This one on this side and that one on that side. And then you've got these fibers here. And I altered a bingo card, which is also a pocket at the top, and added the pretty fairy there. This is a vintage die cut that I've attached here. Little punches with dragonflies. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Added sari silk here, and this is from a vintage bird book that I own. It says, "Don't forget to fly." Vintage handkerchief for the pocket here, and all these sweet fairies behind it. And this beautiful lace here. Then you've got an altered playing card here, and this little antique calling card tuck. And then this is a page from a book about the pixie people. Some trim that I dyed, some ribbon that I dyed, lace trim, I guess. And then you've got a double pocket here on top of a tuck. So you've got a pocket here, and a card in a pocket here, and then a card in the tuck in the back. You've got lace here on the trimming side. Oh, and this is antique tatting that I had in my collection. And I used a piece of Peter Pan fabric here for a pocket, and some sweet little ribbon I was gifted, and some lace. This is a vintage tally card and the Bank of Star, a little check. Then you've got paper that I've dyed again. And on the back side, I've attached with washi. It has been glued down. You've got a flip here, and I stamped this ribbon, so it says Dream, little fairies over the crib, and it flips up. And then this is another Edith Holden page that I stamped a fairy on, and it just flips up there and out. And then here too, I've used sari silk and some nice papers that you can add pictures to, or notes, or whatever you'd like to do. Oh, skipped a page. There you go. And then you've got paper for journaling here. I added this sweet little lace trim here and a bow. It says "The Fairies Sing," and it's a little poem. And then you've got a place to journal or note here, and some layered punches on, and a little sequin on this bulb pin. And then this side, and this book is very tight. It will open up some as you use it, but it's very full. So, you know, it's got room for more, but it's full. So it is kind of tight. You've got the two envelopes here that I made from vintage children's book pages, and added some trim here, and they open. You just unwrap them, and it's a tuck behind. So you can use all that back here to tuck. And this is Braille paper that I've coffee dyed and added a little tag so that you've got a tuck there too. And some sari silk and a little rose on a bulb pin. Some more lace, sweet little cutout from a book. This is a card that I've altered, a vintage card. I'm not going to take it out because it's hard to get back in at this angle, but I've added the fairy to the window there, and some of these fairies I've accented to make them a little bit sparkly and all too. And this is one of them. I added the butterflies, and then this is a paper that I collaged and added a tuck behind it, and coffee dyed paper here. This was a collage that I did and scanned. I printed it out, and then I've added texture to it just for a little header there. Got some music paper. And then this is Mary Englebright. I love Mary Englebright. This is one of her fairy cards, and an envelope with fairies that I made into a little tuck. And then there's fairies climbing up the trim on that, or the lines on this. This is Velvet. And this is the frog section. So you've got the fairy talking to the frog, and a little three-dimensional frog there, and then flashcards, think green, And back here, you've got a fairy spinning with a frog tab. That's some fabric that I had. See if I can get it back in. There we go. And then this is a pocket. You've got the bookmark here with the frog in the pocket, and then this flips down and is just a envelope here. So you can put something behind it if you like, and you can put something secret in that envelope. The next page, you've got a tuck here. This was a tally card, a vintage tally card, and I just turned it into a frame with a fairy in the center. And then you've just got a little card tucked behind it. And then this is also a big, deep pocket at an angle here. And there's some paper that I coffee dyed with birds. And then this is vintage lace that I've coffee dyed with some sari silk. Flips up, and this is the end of a player piano roll. Some player piano music paper. And then that coffee dyed music paper that I had, music print paper that I had. I made a little 3-dimensional fairy on this one. It's a notebook. So you can add little sketches or notes or pictures or whatever you'd like. I just added some interesting papers in here. And it tucks into the belly band. Under the belly band, you've got one more card, and this is from an antique children's book. And if they didn't have pianos, it was a music book. They had the little printed piano here that they could lay their fingers on. So I just used part of that here for a card for you to journal on or glue on, whatever you'd like to do. And then this just tucks over the belly band. You've got lace here. And then I used one of the seed packets from Target and made just a tuck, added some lace here and ribbon. And then this is a 3-dimensional card that I stitched up. There's a lot of stitching throughout this book. And you can journal or glue or whatever you'd like to do. Or you could move it around and add a picture here that would show through the window. I did not point out, I'll show you in a minute, I've done several altered paper clips here to add some more trim and things. So they are attached, and I meant to show you, but I forgot. All right, I printed on here vellum. This is a sweet little fairy, and it is attached with lace at the top that I've stitched on. And you've got a little accent here. You can put something behind it if you like. Here's a belly band here with a fairy, and I've added some sparkle to her wings there. And then this is from a children's book, Fairy Bread. I thought that was sweet. And it just tucks in there. You can add things if you like. This is a layered pocket. You've got 2 pockets here. They are deep pockets. I've added tabs to the bottom to make them deeper so you could add more things. I've added 2 little cards here that I've cut out of pretty cardstock just to get you started, but you could do whatever you'd like there. This is from a vintage napkin that I had from it's not that vintage. It's, you know, maybe 25 years old, just making it vintage. Napkin that I had with a ruffled trim, and I've turned it into a pocket. There's pretty paper behind it. And this is from a children's book that I had with the fairy. I thought that was beautiful. Actually, this is not children's. This is an adult poetry book. But I loved the fairy, so I added her here just to give you a journaling card. And then more coffee dyed paper. This is from an antique sari. I just love that trim with some lace, stickers, cute little flower sprite. And I've given you, this is from a children's book, an image that I had, which I printed out. I scanned and printed out, and I added some trim and things. And then I added this little gift tag that I had and a little card here. So you've got things to journal on. It's a double tuck. These beautiful fairies I've added to this card here with a ribbon, and it is attached with Velcro. So it's not too hard to get back in there or take out. And then you've got a tiny little tuck here. And that's a vintage cigarette card. You've got these little dragonfly and butterfly that I stamped. This is from a children's dictionary. And this comes open here with the bluebirds. This is attached with washi tape, so you could remove it if you'd like. A little sticker there. And this is from a fairy book. This is one of the altered paper clips with a button and then a little fairy here and a little bead. And I used a little journaling card here with a mushroom and a cutout of a mushroom here to tuck, and some antique lace from a runner that I thought was really beautiful. You've got lace here and lace here. This is attached with washi. It can come out if you'd like. And I've made a sticker from some vellum that I printed with fairies. And then you've got this tuck here. Isn't that cute? This is from Edith Holden wrapping paper that was in my grandmother's stash, and I'm enjoying doling it out little by little here. Sweet little print of a fairy with some trim and a vintage Spiegel envelope for your payment when you needed to mail in your payment. And I've added an altered paper clip to this side, to the other side really, but to this one here. There you go. You've got a journaling card with a fairy. Sweet little trims and things. I've made a journaling card out of this fairy. I printed her on fabric and stitched her on. And this is some vintage ribbon and all the little flowers I had. And it's on a flash card. Tucks behind here. This is from a little game with flower fairies. And there's more paper to write on, some vintage lace. This is a double. There's a tuck here. And then you've got a pocket here that I've embossed. And this is vintage fabrics that I've layered on here and stitched on. So you've got a card you can use there. And I printed this on this paper. You've got a big pocket here with the mushrooms, and three-dimensional mushroom here. With some sweet vintage trim. And this is one of those magic pictures. The fairy changes when you move it. And just a little journaling card behind it. I used a tab again here, so you have a tab and little fairy there. And I can't remember which one is. Nope, those are glued down. So these are just, you could glue over them or leave them the way they are. But I just want to give you the tab there. I did not leave these open as a pocket. And you've got lace here. Little sticker there. This is from the children's verse book. Again, Robert Louis Stevenson. I think I'm getting that name wrong. And this is about fairies in here. I thought the illustrations were beautiful. Got some gorgeous trim here. And the bee, this is a pocket, the fairy with the bees. And this is an antique postcard. I thought that was beautiful on silk. And I just added it to an envelope to make a pocket and gave you a journaling card there. I did not fill all of the pockets just because there's so much already in here. And I thought, you know, I should leave some things for you to add. So that's the way I did that. So you've got some pretty music paper here. Another Edith Holden page that flips out. And this little gardening collage here. This is a vintage seed pocket that flips down. I've added some little trim there. And then you've got this pocket here. Gardening theme and a cool button stitched on. And then you've got a flower fairy card in there that you could use, and some trim on here, more paper that I dyed, little sticker, follow your dreams, more lace, and then the back page is a collage. This is another vintage children's book, a math lesson, and a vintage bird book picture, some trim, and then it is a pocket. And I just added this flower fairy card in here so that you could have something in the pocket that you could use. Of course, this will come with extra ephemera, and you can use it however you see fit. As I said, the tool is attached through a grommet in the back, and you can just wrap it around. You probably don't want to wrap your fibers in there. just wrap it around to close it. And you don't even need it really. It's full, but it's not going to burst. But I just thought it would be nice to have some extra things. And you have got, like I said, the altered paper clips on the side here. So I think there are 3 in this book. I hope you enjoyed the book. Sorry it's a little disjointed here. I just finished it up last night and my head is still reeling with ideas. So I'm getting ready to jump into a new book. Thanks so much for stopping by. Stay well, stay happy, and take care. Bye.